Morning to you. It's Friday the 16th of August 2019. It's actually my sister's birthday today. So happy birthday, sister. I shall still be singing the song, don't worry, my dear, when I do all the other birthdays later. But that is the most, I'm sorry, gang, if it is your birthday today. Unfortunately, you share the birthday day with my sister, which means hers is more important than yours. I'm sorry, I have to say that, dear. Otherwise, I shall never get fed round there again. Good morning, sister. Well, today's programme is a bit windy outside. Oh, yeah. I can hear the old windows going on our Lincolnshire television studio complex this morning. And today's programme is brought to you with great pain and suffering, which I shall tell you about later. Great pain and suffering, but is the method brought how this show is coming to you today. So I'll tell you about that as time goes on. I wanted to start today's show because I had it standing by here yesterday and I never got around to it because we were chatting away so much. Don't forget, we've got the raffle tickets coming up later. More raffle tickets are going to be given out a little bit later on in the show. Please don't ask yet. I won't be taking your names down yet. We can't do everything at once, dear. You know, my teams of staff are very busy next door, sorting through emails and things and people begging. People are begging now, boys and girls, begging for more than one raffle ticket. And you mustn't do that, because if I catch you trying to get 2 raffle tickets, I shall take your raffle tickets out. Be warned. And don't ask for a ticket before the show has happened either. Someone did that this morning. Yes, you know who you are. Or could I have a ticket for Friday's show? I haven't done it yet. Talk about jump the bandwagon, dear. Outrageous. So that'll be happening in the show. We've got a couple of stories, some food stories for you this morning. We got a cat story this morning as well. All right. So it's all, and sweeties. Do you like sweeties? Who wants a sweetie from Uncle Chris? Do you want a sweetie? Come to me and have a sweetie. No, we got sweetie stories as well coming up in the show. All right, now back in February, a lovely lady called Rosalind sent me something in the post. Now I don't give out my private address on the show, you know, because the reason for it's not that I'm frightened I'm not going to be murdered or something. I'm worried that, you know, hordes of fans, and this will probably be the case, hordes of fans will turn up at my house, you know, knocking on the door. Please, Chris, we want to see you. Please, please, please. You know, like Justin Bieber has, you know, whenever he leaves a hotel room and they're like, there's these screaming fans outside. Well, like that, but obviously much more. You know, more people. Probably bring wherever I am at the time to a complete standstill. You know, certainly the road coming up here to the Lincolnshire television studios, I mean, it would be impassable. So that's why I don't give my address out on air. So I do give the address out, and kindly that the pub that I work at allows me to use their address. But sometimes stuff gets lost there. It's not stolen. I'm sure it's not stolen. We go there. Please don't send money through the post. I know some of you want to send 10, 20, 30,000 pounds to assist me in my quest for ever increasing improvements here at our many, many United Kingdom Talk studios all over the country. Please don't send anything less than £100,000 by cheque only, no cash. And if you cross the cheque, make it payable to Chris Reardon, okay? So make sure it's crossed because I don't want anyone else cashing it. Anyway, the lovely Rosalind sent me a book back in February, and she sent me a little note a couple of days after. Did you get the book? No. Then I said, give it another week. Did it arrive? No. Give it another week? No. At which point I think I said to her, I think it's possibly got lost. She offered to send another one, but I asked her not to because stuff has got lost getting there before. You see, it's not purposely done, I'm sure. But when you send stuff to a place that has got lots of staff running around, putting things here, there, stuff gets lost. It doesn't necessarily get nicked. It gets lost. Well, it turned up. It turned up last Monday. So that's February, March, April, May, June, July, August. 6 months after Rosalind sent it. And it's a poetry book. There we are. Rosalind is an author. Look, there's a picture there. She has a picture. She's got a picture on a book. I haven't got my picture on any books. Can't even get it in Boys anymore. They are, which has gone monthly, incidentally. Those of you that read Boys, that's gone monthly. It's like a gay scene magazine. Tells you about all the events. Anyway, I don't think no one really reads it. They just look at the pictures of blokes and see who they want to go out with. I'm not surprised it closed. But there we are. There's Rosalind. There's a picture of little Rosalind there. Okay. Rosalind's got nearly as many fans as me hanging outside her front door. Yeah. But most of those are asking for a cup of sugar or something like that. Hello, Rosalind. Can we have a cup of sugar, please? She opens the door, bless her heart. She opens the door thinking that they're going to give her the book to sign. I said, oh, hello, Rosalind. You haven't got a spare cup of sugar. Oh, okay. She goes like that. Rosalind is also a big Barry Manilow fan. Anyway, on the back of the book it says here, Rosalind has been writing poetry and lyrics for over 30 years and has enjoyed significant achievements, which includes winning awards for 2 of her songs. She runs her own editing business as well as writing. She enjoys music, musical theatre and anything word creative. And she says, producing this book is one of the greatest joys and achievement. One of my greatest joys and achievements. And her name is Rosalind Winton. You can get this on Amazon. I don't know how much. Probably 10 to 15 pounds, I would imagine, on Amazon. Something like that. I think that's the normal price of books. Okay, and it's called Poetic Wonders. I'm going to read you one of them, as well as the delightful letter that she sent me. Okay, I'll read the letter first, actually, because it's a lovely letter. And she writes on the 25th of February. 25th of February. Dear Chris, first of all, I want to thank you so much for agreeing to give my book a shout out on your programme. I really do appreciate it. I thought I would give you the history surrounding this book and a bit about my background, so you're aware of all the facts and can talk about it with knowledge. I run my own editing business, and as a sideline, I've been writing poetry and lyrics for over 30 years. Excuse me, I just move a bit. I work with very talented composers and vocalists, and I have enjoyed great achievements. In 2001, I won awards at music festivals for 2 of my songs, an outstanding award for one song and a merit award for another. I've written lyrics for school plays, including the brand new lyrics for The Wizard of Oz. I'm melting! I'm melting! Ah! I love that bit when she melts. For a secondary school production of The Wizard of Oz, and the new original lyrics for a primary school play called Nation of Imaji. I've also written lyrics for unsigned artists and musical theatre projects. I have a portfolio of videos and audio files of my songs on my websites, and you can find them here if you would like to listen to them, just so that you can see or rather hear what I do. So I'll give you that website at the end of the letter, if you want to just write that down, boys and girls, and have a little look at Rosalind's work. My poem Precious Child was published in the Best Book of Life and Love in 1995. I have always wanted to publish my poetry, but I didn't have enough that were up to scratch, and I couldn't fill a whole book. But then 5 years ago, I had the idea to produce an anthology where I could publish my own poetry, but also the poetry of other writers. I put out the word and positivity. I was pouring into it, and it was coming back to me tenfold. And eventually I had 5 other authors willing to submit their poetry for the project. Daniel Buckner, Stephanie Kerber, D.K. Mamula, John D. Cochran and Derek Patmore. We've all put in 15 poems, so there are 90 poems in the book, plus a full-length story in a rhyme called The Bear on Lonely Lake by Daniel. A few years ago, I had the pleasure of editing, producing and recording it as an audio story. This was really great because I'd been in the recording studio many times to oversee production of my songs. This time I was actually in the recording booth recording this story, and it's an amazing time. I should imagine that was just going into a recording booth and doing your own stuff like that. Fantastic. It feels a bit like that in here, you know. I just come in this little room and I just do my thing. There's no one telling me what to do. Isn't it marvellous where you can be creative like that? You see, Rosalind, this is the thing. If you was to go into, people have said to me, why don't you try to get on the radio or even the television and stuff like that? And, you know, it would be very nice, but you lose your own creativity, you see? You know, you might do something, oh, you can't do that. Or you need to do this now. Oh, you need to do this now. Well, all your creative... I've known people on the radio, or I know people on the radio. One was a talk show presenter. And I mentioned this him, God, about 10 years ago, maybe more than that. And he said, to be honest, Chris, you're probably better off doing what you're doing. You have complete say in whatever you say or do on your show. If you go into a radio station, that's it, mate. You're told what to do. And very quickly you'll question why you ever wanted to go in it. So I don't. I just sit here doing my thing, the same as a lot of people on YouTube. I've come across many people, including my brother-in-law, Martin. He's got several YouTube channels now. I've met up, talked to other people on here. We've got, perhaps he might be with us, I don't know, Roy the Boy. He has his own YouTube channel. Lots of people I'm starting to talk to and that, who do their own thing. That's what we love about it, you see. We just love doing our own thing. And here you are. You've brought out your own book. No one's told you what to put in it. I mean, how fantastic is that? That is creativity. Creativity is not watching Gemma Collins. That is not creative. Or The Only Way is Essex. Or Love Island. There's producers telling them what to do. People don't realise that. They're not necessarily rowing for the sake of, you know, because they're actually rowing. They're told to have a row a lot of the time. Back to the letter. She says the most amazing thing about the book is that Enoch Anderson wrote an amazing foreword for it. I've been in touch with Enoch over the years in his capacity as lyricist, and I feel honoured and privileged to have his endorsement for the book. Poetic Wonders has been 5 years in the making, and the process of producing the book, although exasperating at times, yeah, I should think it was. You know, you'd never think you're going to get to the end, do you? Has also been amazing, wonderful, positive journey, and I hope you enjoy looking through it. I would be interested to know what you think. Poetry isn't the most popular genre. No, certainly not. I totally agree with you, Rosalind. I wouldn't pick up a poetry book unless someone had asked me to. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a massive fan of poetry. That being said, over the years, I've got a couple of poems in my head. You know, that tiger one in particular. Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forests of the night. Who doesn't know those two lines? You know, I know that one. She says, I do hope your arm is better. I had a bad arm back in February. No, I've got something else wrong now. Something else wrong, which I'll come to in a minute. She says, I've experienced a broken ankle and a broken elbow over the last 5 years. I did them both just tripping and slipping over at home. So easily done. Oh, yeah, that's what happened to me back in February. Do you remember? I came down the stairs, not particularly fast, in socks. Now, at the bottom of my stairs is like that cheap, shiny wooden flooring. Not parquet. Not in my house. Not parquet flooring. You know that really cheap, thin stuff you get from B&Q? I've got that down on the floor. Well, it's highly polished. That's how it comes. You know, and I put my foot down and I had a cup in one hand and there's a plant in front of me. And I got onto the floor at the bottom of the, and my heel just went forward. And I dropped everything. Oh my God, and actually, funny you should mention that, Rosalind. I did go and have an x-ray because it was so painful. I never rang back about the x-ray results because it felt all right. Now and again, I get a pain here. It's generally when I go swimming, right? This is when the pain comes. I go swimming, I get to one end and I push myself round on the wall with that hand and then I get pain here. So it's got to be to do with a fall because it wasn't happening before. Rosalind also says, I do hope Ronnie is recovering well from his infection that he had back then. Ronnie has lots of health issues, unfortunately. One is recurring lung infections, which is really not pleasant at all. I've seen him cough. I've seen him cough and be frightened. Yes, lungs are very worrying things when you can't catch your breath, isn't it? Rosalind said we did meet at one of Barry's shows last year at the O2. I'll be honest, Rosalind, I can't remember meeting you, but I met a lot of people. I wouldn't lie to you and say, oh yeah, I remember that. No, I can't remember. But next time I meet you, and I'm sure it'll happen again, I will remember you this time. I will, absolutely. But there wasn't time to chat, so I hope we can meet one day for a proper natter. All the best. And that's from Rosalind Winton. Now, the website of some of her work is here. It's all one word. This is all one word. You ready? One Voice Literary Agency. onevoiceliteraryagency.com/my-music. All right? onevoiceliteraryagency.com/my-music. And that's where all her stuff is. I'll come to your messages in a moment, boys and girls. All right? I just wanted to read one of the poems. I've only just started. I've had a quick flick through. There's one I wanted to read out for you. It's called Good Old. Now, a lot of us here are sort of an age. I know many of you over there, sort of over 40, some over 50, some older than that. So you'll be able to relate to this, and this is why I've chosen this particular poem from the book. And then we'll do some, raffle tickets as well. Don't forget raffle tickets. We've got stories. We've got a bit of a chat, and I'll tell you why this program is brought to you with great pain and suffering later. Okay. The poem is called Good Old. You'll relate to this. First, there was good old feather and ink. Nothing complicated to cause a stink. You just wrote a letter to send through the post. It usually got there a year at the most. Like your letter to me, mind you, that made it in 6 months, so that's pretty good, Rosalind. Then came the good old ball pen. Something to write with again and again, but still not quite perfect. There was always some doubt, 'cause sooner or later, the refills run out. Did you have those at school? Cartridge pens. They were a little plastic cartridge in. So bad for the environment. It goes on. So how to good old typewriters galore that delivered words faster than ever before. And OMG, guess what you could do? Make a copy with carbon paper. Woohoo! But sometimes the paper would not go in straight. And oh, disaster if you made a mistake. It meant starting all over again. Should have gone back to the good old pen. But they evolved to good old electric that had first ribbon, then golf ball, then digital pad, which wasn't as great as it wasn't quite so complex, and in turn did away with the dreaded Tipex. Fast and furious, 300 words a minute, but that did not deter progress, did it? Fantastic for a while, but admitted defeat when good old computers made them obsolete. Now what can I say? Could talk about computers forever and a day. Riddled with lockouts, viruses, internet disruptions, forgotten username and password corruptions. With good old email, Facebook, Twitter, MSN, there was never a need to write ever again. Good old technology. But is it all hype? Not now. I've discovered good old Skype. There we are. That's one of the programs. Do you know, I've got hairs growing up on my neck there. I can relate to so much of that, can't you? So that's the book, available on Amazon. Poetic Wonders by Rosalind. Okay, Rosalind Winton. No relation to the lovely Dow Winton who we lost some time ago. All right, and that's lovely, and I will read that. I will read that because I quite like that particular poem, and it's one of those books. I have difficulty reading books. I've said before, novels and things like that. I pick up the book, and instead of seeing the story to read, I'll read 5 pages, and then I'll just see that. I think, oh, I can't be bothered, and the amount of books I've put to the side. But I did start reading short stories, you know, like Ronald Dahl's short story books and things like that. I can do those because you read a whole story in like 10 minutes, can't you? And then you put the book down, and the next time you want to pick up and read another one. Fantastic. Thank you very much, my darling, and good luck to you. I hope you sell loads of copies of that. Right, let's do some of your messages, boys and girls. Good morning to Shania. Welcome along to the show, Shania. Shania had a bit of bad news yesterday. She had to, they had a carnival in Ventnor, where she is on the Isle of Wight, and unfortunately it was so wet that they had to cancel the carnival, and so much work goes into that sort of thing, doesn't it? So good morning, Shania. Hello to Adrian Richardson. Good morning. Joanna is there on YouTube. Good morning, Joanna. Some of you should be able to see each other's messages now. They were working on this yesterday. As far as I can remember, the YouTube people can now see the Facebook messages. I don't know if it's working the other way around yet. Can the Facebook people see the YouTube messages? You'll see something like bots, some bots. That is actually a message from another platform that you can now see. They've been working on this. Don't know how well that's working. Okay, that's out of my control. Good morning to the delightful Adam the plumber. Thanks ever so much for that picture you sent me this morning, Adam. If you could just let me know how much one of those is for, say, an hour or so, that would be great, all right? Good morning to Paul and Lou. Morning to you. Hello. There's my mate Ronnie, who's got so excited by seeing me on the television this morning. His favourite television personality, best friend, he's going to have an excitement poo. Please don't send a photograph. That's a new one. I've heard an excitement wee, but not an excitement poo. How awful. Morning to Ray Reynolds, who says, don't panic. I'm glad you mentioned that, Ray. Because those of you that have got gold on the telly, I think it's just called, it used to be called UK Gold. It's called Gold. They have filmed 3 of the lost episodes of Dad's Army. Now, I don't have Gold. Fortunately, my mate does. He's not a Dad's Army fan. I think he was telling me yesterday that he's never actually watched Dad's Army, but he has agreed to record those for me so that I can watch them on the telly round his house, hopefully with a free dinner as well. So thank you very much for that. So the new the new Dad's Armies have already been filmed. They're in the can and they're going to be on Gold. I believe it's the 25th of August. I don't know if they're going to run them all together, all 3 episodes together. I don't know how that's going to work, but I think that's when they're going to be on. So keep an eye on that. Do a search on Google or something. Look for Dad's Army on Gold. Dates. I'm sure it's the 25th of August. Really looking forward to that. You must keep an open mind, you know. I got to tell you, the Dad's Army film that was done 1 or 2 years ago, it was okay as a film on its own. As a continuation of the Dad's Army kind of franchise, no. It wasn't part of Dad's Army at all. It was a separate film. It was very amusing. It was good, but I couldn't relate one to the other. It was missing something. Good morning to Claire. Morning, Claire, you lovely lady. Morning, Claire. Claire says it's difficult to see who's there with all those transferred messages. I can stop that happening, Claire. Can we have a little? I don't think it's working properly yet. Anyway, I can stop you seeing other people's messages if you want. Not you, the other people on the other platforms. If it's becoming too confusing, perhaps some of you would write a little comment there and let me know, because I can just turn that off by taking a tick out of a box. Is it becoming too confusing seeing all the other messages? So, see, that's the thing, Claire. Now you know how it is at this end, right? The amount of messages coming through, and you can't possibly read them all out. It's just impossible. I think sometimes you get so far ahead and then you go back and you can't pick up from where you are, and you have to move. You have to move on. Unfortunately, I know sometimes people, and I am grateful, they spend a lot of time thinking about perhaps what to type sometimes, and I scroll past and you get a message. Oh, you didn't read my message yet. Well, you know, it's just impossible sometimes with the amount coming in. But I do appreciate them. I always appreciate messages coming in. All right. Good morning to LaBelle. Morning, LaBelle, over there in New York. I am today her emerald-eyed buttercup of passion. Oh, passion. I remember passion some years ago, LaBelle. Good morning, darling. Hello to Stuart Skinner. Morning. Stuart has received his fridge magnet and photograph. I'm pleased about that, Stuart. He's in Germany. Stuart's in Germany. I only sent it on Tuesday, and he got it yesterday. What great service that is from the post office. Thank you, Stuart. You enjoy that. Put that on your fridge or wherever. Good morning to Gaz Barron. Good morning, Gaz. He comes along to the Cleethorpes karaoke. Are you there next week, Gaz? LaBelle doesn't think I have the kind of sweeties I need. Possibly. Ray says, can I have a ticket for my blood test, please? Just like Sainsbury's when you wanted a quarter of ham. No, not. That's what you had to do. Sainsbury's wasn't always self-service, you know. You had to get a ticket out of the machine. Number 15, yes, please. I'll have a quarter of ham, please. Good morning, Guillermo. Morning, sir. Long time no see. Hope you're well. Michael Pullman in the house. Morning, Michael. George Ramsey over there in Benidorm. Morning, George. I hope it's nice over there. We've not had a particularly good summer, to be honest. There's been a couple of hot days, but not that good here. Morning to lovely Kelly Kim. Morning, Kelly. Adrian, hope the plant is still feeling a bit better now from the accident. It did recover. It was actually a plant that Ray Reynolds gave me some time ago, a rubber plant. He gave me this rubber plant, and it's located down the bottom of the stairs near a window. It mustn't have direct sunlight, and it went over, and I smashed the thing and done my arm in. That was ages ago, that was. Morning to Graham Lang. Good morning. Ah, there's Rachel there. Rachel Wheatland. Rachel Wheatland. I must get that right. Good morning, Rachel Wheatland. I look like a proper newsreader. Do you think so? Could I be a newsreader? I never get the foreign names right. Rachel remembers cartridge pens. Yes, indeed. There we are. Ronnie, that's nice people asking after me. Well, illness. I've had a chest infection 8 months out of 9, antibiotic resistant, and it's now a colonisation. He's got a colonisation. How many people can say that? Anyone else got a colonisation? No, you haven't, have you? Even I haven't got one of those. Ronnie has. He's got a colonisation in his lungs. Holes in his lungs. He needs a nebulizer and breathing machine. I've got pains everywhere, and I click and I creak. However, I look fabulous. Oh dear. John Aitken, morning John, wrote a load of poems when he was young. Nice, okay. There's Rosalind there. She's watching this morning. Good morning, Rosalind. That was great. You read my poem really well. Thank you very much. Creativity. She agrees with everything I say about creativity. This is the thing. There's so many creative people. Generally young people. It's certainly in schools. You know, young people. And, you know, not 16-year-olds. Of course, 16-year-olds. 15, 14. Going right down. There are some very creative 5-year-olds in schools. You know, but I don't suppose I'd get their stuff published. Someone would look at it and say, oh, well, it's all right, but I think you need to do this and you need to do that. Well, you've taken their creativity away then. Same as me sitting in here, you know. If someone starts telling, oh, I don't know about that. We've taken my creativity away now. I don't mind, you know, perhaps suggestions on how to improve things now and again. But, you know, to be told what to do, this, no, I can't be bothered with all that. Can't be bothered with all that. It's television. This is television. Are you watching on the television? Who's watching on the television this morning? Thank you. People talking to each other there. Yeah, John says the Dad's Army movie was terrible. I wouldn't have said it was terrible, John. But it certainly wasn't Dad's Army as we know it, if you see what I mean. It as a film standing on its own, yeah, it was okay. I enjoyed it. Would I go and see it again? No. Well, I'll be honest, I don't really watch films twice. I think The Sound of Music, The Wizard of Oz, maybe. Can't think of any other films that I've watched more than once, to be honest. Yeah, it's just one of those. Oh, well, what was that one where... Whistle Down the Wind. Oh, I used to love that. That was with, Miles, wasn't it? What's the name? Miles. Whistle Down the Wind. Anyone remember that? Black and white film. And it was this burglar. And these children had discovered him hiding in a barn, right? But they didn't know he was a burglar. And he told them he was Jesus, and the children weren't to tell anyone about them, and the children kept it secret, and they used to take him in food and drink and see if he was all right. Oh, it's an absolutely charming film. If you've never seen it, watch it, and you'll be crying your eyes out at the end of it. Heather Mills, that's it. Heather Mills. Heather Mills, Whistle Down the Wind. Wonderful film. Oh my God, that must be 1950s, that film. I haven't seen that for years. I think I've got that on a DVD somewhere. Anyone remember that? Whistle Down the Wind. Oh, I love that film. Love that film. Rachel can't see the YouTube messages. Okay, so it doesn't work the other way still. Fair enough. I've got a feeling it's going to be too complicated once it does start working the other way. For you, not me. You know, I'm okay. I've got used to sort of dealing with millions of messages at the same time. Oh, Ray's going to be on The One Show this Monday, possibly wearing our home guard outfit. The One Show. Oh, Ray, one of the worst programmes ever on the telly. Second, only just behind Loose Women. Dreadful programme. All those old bags sit there cackling away about their ex-boyfriends, this, that and the other. Dreadful programme, dear. But you're going on The One Show. Well, at least it's not the worst programme on the telly. The second way, I find it very bland. I don't like bland. It's boring. No one ever gets offended and they're all sort of, oh, hello, welcome to The One Show. Haha, bright, sparkly teeth and perfect haircuts. No, it's not for me. But I'll watch it if you're on it, Ray. Okay, Johnny and I have been asked to do The One Show this Monday, wearing a home guard. Fantastic. 2 actors from the new Dad's Army will be interviewed, so you even get to meet them. How wonderful, Ray. We will just be in the audience. Oh, but the way you started that off, I thought you were going to be on there, dear. Just in the audience. Well, I wouldn't bother, love. I wouldn't bother, dear. Just in the audience. Do they show shots of the audience? No. Awful. We'll be in the audience and come to Central Station afterwards. Okay, well, we'll see you there. Good morning to Tiffany Sharp. Good morning, Tiffany. Tiffany's actually on the same caravan site as me. She's not too... I don't know where she is, actually. Probably... I don't know if she knows where I certainly don't know where Tiffany is, but she's on the caravan site. I'm on somewhere, possibly close by. Maybe if you open your door, you can actually hear, because I do speak quite loudly. I do wonder sometimes how many of the other caravans people can hear me. But actually, I'm facing out to the field, so probably none of them, actually, when I think about it. Kelly Kim says, creativity is intelligence having fun. Or I wouldn't go as far as saying I was intelligent, Kelly Kim. I don't know, but you're far more intelligent than me, Kelly Kim. You really are, darling. John was creative at school. Art and English were my best subjects. I was useless at art, John. I cannot draw to save my life. I mean, the only thing I can draw is like a house with 4 windows, a door and some trees. That's it. I cannot draw to save my life. Isn't it funny, isn't it, really, how we're all good at doing... I really believe we are all good at doing something. I mean, I've yet to find anything that I'm good at, to be honest. I really believe that. We're all good at doing something. And I think sometimes people, young people, are pushed at school to do something that they're no good at. You know, whether it be maths or physics or English. You know, not everyone's fantastic at English. You know, look at Gemma Collins. You know, she can't say a word. She can't speak properly, dear. Yeah, I'm the GC. Oh, did anyone see that story in The Sun yesterday? I'm not even going to read it out. It's disgusting. She gets someone to sniff something. That's all I'm saying. One of her assistants. Awful. Or was it just written for the paper? Oh, dear. Oh, you're wondering what the pain and suffering is. I'll tell you in a minute. Okay. Adrian's watching on YouTube, but his TV keeps crashing. Well, you want to get yourself a decent TV then, Adrian. You will sit there watching that black and white bed set. Adrian's got some sort of converter box so he can see digital television on his old 405 line bared black and white set, haven't you? What do I look like in black and white? Notice I say black and white because we're not racist on this programme. I want to point that out now. All colours are very, very welcome, dear. Very, very welcome. Hayley Mills. I beg your pardon. I said Heather Mills, didn't you? She's the one with... Hayley Mills, that's the one. Whistle Down the Wind. Oh, the music. I've got the music right at the back of my head. It's wonderfully scored. The music on it is just beautiful. Please try and get yourself. It might even be on YouTube. That is so old. I wouldn't be surprised if the programme's actually on YouTube there. Okay, Hayley Mills. People telling me Hayley Mills. Rachel's not seen the film either. Oh, it's really good. Morning to Michael Lawrence. Good morning, you. John says everyone's good at something. They certainly are. You're just going to find out what it is. You know, I do think people are pushed. Sometimes you get those pushy parents, don't you, who might decide that their daughter's going to be a ballerina. Well, number one, there's not many ballerina jobs. And number two, I'm afraid most little girls are probably not right for doing that. That being said, some will be. But I think parents sometimes push their child towards something that they want them to be, where instead of finding out what that child is good at. You know, I'm looking at my great nieces and great nephews at the moment. I wouldn't like to say what I thought they'd be good at yet. Far too early. You know, 6, 7 years old. Is there an inkling that anyone's any good for anything? I mean, my younger nephew, Jimmy, he's 22 now. He, as a younger boy in sort of early teens, like 13, 14, 15, he was doing golf and football. And we thought we'd all do something to do with sports. No, he fixes cars. Completely different. So you can't tell. You've got to wait. You've got to push these people into something. I showed at a very early age I was interested in playing the piano. And mum and dad paid for piano lessons from a lady called Miss Allen, who lived in this block of flats, right? And I had this. I didn't have a piano at first. I had this like paper keyboard. It was like a long cardboard thing with notes printed on it. And that's how I would practice. And I got to Miss Allen's and I play it. But I wasn't very good at reading music. And then I bought a piano. And I think Dad got me to save up for the piano with my own money. And this piano, right, proper piano, cost me, are you ready for this? £3. The piano cost £3. Bloody great big thing it was. Made in Lewisham somewhere. £3 this piano. And I think Dad wanted at the time to teach me to save up for stuff, which I'm very good at doing now. Because my dad taught me how to... Oh, God, I miss my dad now. As a young man, I think there's something to do with dads and sons. And they don't really talk to each other. I don't know why that is. Your dad goes out of his way to do anything for you. Take you to work. Fix something. Bring something upstairs. You never say thank you. You never say thank you. And God, does it hurt? Does that come back and smack you in the mouth when they're dead? Believe me, it does. So if your father's still alive, please, if you're a son, please talk to them. For some reason, and I'm not the only one. I've come across other people my age and older and younger who didn't really talk to their dads, and some of them have gone now, and it's just horrendous. But dads do everything for you. And he wanted to teach me possibly how to save up, so I saved up with the post office saving stamps. You could buy a stamp for 10p, right, down the post office. You put it in a book, and then when you saved up, you had like £5 worth. So I saved up £3 worth of stamps, and this piano. I don't know how we discovered there was a piano for sale, but it was. And that was it. And my dad said, right, well, if you save up for it, I'll get it moved. And I saved up for this piano, £3. And then he arranged for removals, which cost £10. It cost £10 to move this piano. Anyway, so we got it back to our flat in our masonette in Roehampton. And I just started playing. And very quickly, I found myself able to play tunes without seeing the music. Once that had started happening, I lost interest in learning to read music, you see, because I could listen and play. Not always in the right key, and perhaps not the same as, you know, when I play a hymn at church, you know, on the organ when it's my turn, it won't sound the same as someone who can read music, but you will be able to hear the tune in it. My accompaniment is made up automatically somehow, don't ask me how, by my left hand. It just hits the right notes. Don't know how that happens. People say, how do you play by ear? Honestly, don't know. I listen to a tune. Sometimes it might come very, very quickly, you know, immediately. Sometimes I might have to listen to it a few times, but generally I can learn how to play it. I saved up for this piano, which was rather marvellous. Rather marvellous. So, yes, that's... So, from a very early age, 10 years old, I think Mum knew I could play the piano, and I can to a point. I'm not professional, don't get me wrong. Certainly not professional, you know, but I can pick up a tune and play it on an organ decent enough for people to sing along to it. Let's have a look here. George, morning George. Weren't you good at any sports, Chris? I can just picture you climbing up the ropes. Funny enough, George, at the very end of my school, I got good at rugby. Not at the beginning. I hated it. I hated all sports. I'm not keen on sports now. I certainly don't watch them on the telly. Cricket, oh my God, I can't think of anything more boring than cricket. Maybe tennis. Maybe a little bit of tennis, but within a couple of minutes of me watching any sport on the telly, that's it. I've switched. I've gone to sleep, you know. Gone to sleep like that. No, boring. Boring. Certainly not cricket. But rugby, it was in the 5th year, I think. And I used to be one of those boys at rugby who would keep around the side of the pitch as far away from the ball as is possible. I did not want any involvement, and if the ball would come towards me, and I'd try and sneak off the other way before it was. But for some reason, in the 5th year, we were playing this school match. I wasn't in a sort of house match. I wasn't in a school team or anything. So it was houses in the same school playing against each other. And this ball landed at my feet, this rugby ball. I thought, oh my God, what do I do now? Pick it up, Reardon, pick it up, pick it up. I picked up this ball. And I was quite big. I wasn't fat, but I had a bit of muscle on me. And I picked up this ball and I ran towards that thing. What is it? You know, the crossbar thing. The goalposts. I ran. I didn't know where to run. Go in the middle. Ridden, go in the middle. And I ran. And these little boys, you know, same age as me, but little, they come running towards me. No, I'm not having any of that. I knocked them out of the way. They went flying. And I landed a try. Wow, that was it. I was the hero, dear. I'm your hero. La da 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 da. Oh, Joanna's pleased. She's got a song in at last. I was the hero. And from then I got interested in rugby. But it was like something like 4 weeks before the end of season, and indeed the end of school for me. Although I stayed on in the 6th form, which was a complete waste of time because I didn't achieve anything in the 6th form. But then I started playing with everyone else, and funny, isn't it, how things turn out like that? Well, it was right at the very end of my school career, school attendance. Right at the very end of it, so it was too late for me to do anything about it then. So yes, George, I did. I don't think I could play it now, George. I'd be picking up my asthma thing every 5 minutes. Ronnie says GC, that's Gemma Collins, is good at eating. She'd win a gold for England if eating was an Olympic sport. No doubt she'd be on there. She'd be on the phone to the Olympic people, Ronnie. Oh, hello, it's the GC here. I'm an international star, and what I think you should do is I'm going to have a word with Boris about this as well, because I think Boris should meet me. Me and him need a chat. Oh, she is ghastly. No talent whatsoever. I bet she couldn't write a poetry book like Rosalind. Huh? Thick. John, Nick Haywood did a song called Whistle Down the Wind in the 80s. Don't know that one, John. Good morning to Diane Jebb, who's just back from the vets. Oh, have you had something done at the vets, Diane? I usually take animals in there. What have you had? I hope it's not bad news, Diane. Do tell us, my darling. John never had a good relationship with his dad. I was a real mummy's boy. I was, John. I was a mummy's boy. I was absolutely a mummy's boy. John wanted to play the saxophone. Wow. My neighbour, she's a lovely lady. I've got Dave and Karen who live next door. I've got wonderful, wonderful neighbours down at the house in Bracknell. But she decided to take up the saxophone. And I have never, ever heard any noise whatsoever from my neighbours. Never. And similarly, if they ever heard any noise from me, I'd be if Dave next door to me ever had to knock at the Chris, do you mind turning that? I'd be horrified. if they ever heard any noise coming from me. Until she got the saxophone. Oh my God. Now, it wasn't loud, but for some reason, it must have been the note or the tone of the instrument, but it used to reverberate through the whole house. And she said, and she did say to me, you know, if you could hear this, please let us know, because we'd hate to disturb you. Anyway, I left it, and I thought, oh, I'm going to have to say something. So I knocked on the door. I said, I'm really sorry, because I'd hate to upset mine. I've got fantastic neighbours. I can't tell you. They really are. I knocked on the door. I'm so sorry. Do you mind not playing the saxophone when I'm asleep? It's coming through my bedroom. She said, it's not. I said, it is. She said, oh, I'm so sorry. And she's so apologetic. She says, I can't believe it, because, like, my bedroom's there. Say, my bedroom's there. Then there's a bedroom. Then there's a bedroom. And below my bedroom is the living room. And then there's the kitchen, right? So if my bedroom's up there, so bedroom, 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 and then going into the next house, bedroom, 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 downstairs kitchen. So we couldn't be any further apart than we were. Yet I could still hear that saxophone. Not loud, but you can hear it. And it was the most annoying noise, because that's all you can hear. If she had like a backing tape playing or something, I couldn't hear that, just the saxophone. And we kindly arranged that she would only play when I wasn't sleeping. I told her what times I sleep, because you know I sleep funny times, sort of in the afternoon for a couple of hours, and she never played it at night. But I didn't mind so much, you know, if I was having a breakfast or watching a telly. Even when I was watching a telly, you could still hear this saxophone in the background. It must just really carry a long way, saxophones. But she was very, very good at it, and I hated having to say something, because I would never ever want to upset. We've got fantastic neighbours down at the house. You couldn't wish for any better neighbour. All four of us, there's 4 houses in a row. We all get on fantastically. No one's ever had a row. No one's ever created any noise, or if we have, it's been accidental. Do you know what I mean? How many people could say that about their neighbours? Fantastic neighbours I've got. Ray had piano lessons for a while, but exactly like you, I preferred to play by ear. So that was a no. So that was that. Yeah, you see, once you learn to play by ear, that's it. You can't learn by music after that. I think it works the other way as well. If you're really good at playing the music, and most of the organists at church, they all read music. I think I'm the only one that plays by ear. They can't play by ear. I think there's benefits to both of them. You know, if you give me a tune, I haven't got the music. All right, we'll just sing it a few times to me in my ear. I've had that done before. That was at St. Joseph's in Roehampton, and they put this hymn. I said, well, I don't know that hymn. Oh, well, that's the next hymn. Well, I don't know it. I'll tell you what, sing it in my ear. And he sang it in my ear. Keep singing it. And I managed with the right hand. So if a hymn is like 4 verses long, the first bit, so the choir starts singing it, and I'm kind of trying to keep with them with one hand maybe. Second verse, sort of the same. Third verse, this hand might start working. And by the 4th verse, I can probably play it. Not perfectly, but almost. So that's how it works for me, you know, each and every one to their own. John was good at rugby, short and fast. I'm sure you were. Good morning to Tony Power. Good morning, Tony. Tony's very creative. He writes songs. Tony writes songs. He's worked with some wonderful people. Hazel Dean, the 3 Degrees, a lot of the Eurovision stars of the past. Tony's worked with as well. Good morning to me, Wonder Woman. Good morning. Isn't this bad, being able to see Facebook chats? I don't know. I mean, Claire was saying she's getting very confused because we've got the Facebook chats. I don't know what it actually looks like, to be honest. Actually, I could have a look, couldn't I? Let's see if I can see how that works then, because I've no idea how it looks to you people on YouTube. I know the Facebook people still can't see the YouTube messages though. Let's just click on something so perhaps I can see how this is happening, and then I'll understand. You must be on that one. If I click on that, does that work? Let's have a look. Might even be able to see them then. Can I? Oh no, I can't see any messages. Oh, hang on. There's the chat. There's the chat. The chat's come out. Oh, I'm looking a bit pale today, aren't I? A bit pasty. As my, I've got a lovely, lovely friend called Charlotte. She's black. And she says, I look pasty. Oh, I see. So it says Restream bot, doesn't it? And there's your messages. Oh, I can see how that could become quite confusing, to be honest. Shall I just leave it as it is for now, and you see how you get on with that for a while? Wonder Woman said, I said it isn't bad. Oh yeah, I know you said it isn't bad, but Claire, who's one of our delightful YouTube people, she said it was very confusing to see all those coming up. But we'll give it a week or so and we'll see how we get on. If not, I'll untick the box and then we'll go back to how we were before. All right, Miss Wonder Woman. La da 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 da. Diane Jeb, my dog Maisie had to have a yearly booster and her blood's done for her thyroid check. Oh, that's good. Oh, I'm glad your dog's all right there, my darling. Glad your dog's all right. All right. We'll do the raffle tickets next, I think. We'll do the raffle tickets. John says, I've got a great ear for music. I know a song straight away from the intro. I remember your quiz in Earl's Court when I won every week. Did we do a quiz night in Harpo's? Was it Harpo's? I did a quiz? I don't remember doing that, funnily enough. Was it like a quiz where I walk around the pub with a list of questions and read them out? You see, it's difficult to do that now because everyone's cheating on the bloody iPhones, for 10 quid. People are so tight, aren't they? They really are. Right. Oh, just to let you know, the pain and suffering this morning, I've done my back out again. Last night, I got to the karaoke. I brought my bags in, no problem at all. I set out, brought the big screen out, set it all up, and that was fine. Okay. And it was early. It was about 20 past 8, and I was a bit peckish. So I thought I'll go and get some chips. Right? I went round the corner, got some chips, and then on the way back, I thought I'll eat these in the car rather than take them into the pub and stink the place out. I got in the car. Just before in the car, I bent over to pick a pen up, and my back went, and it's gone. It goes in the soft space, and it's very painful. To be fair, it's not as bad as it was last time. But nevertheless, it stopped me sleeping last night, unfortunately, trying to get into a comfortable position, moving slowly. One of the worst things is sitting on the toilet, and it's difficult to, how can I put this, use the toilet paper afterwards. Very, very difficult, very painful. I had to try my left hand. It's not easy. Try that. You try that, right? Go next time you go to the toilet, try that. You try using your left hand instead of your right one to finish off afterwards. It's very, very difficult. So I am in a bit of pain this morning. Maureen, who doesn't appear to be with us this morning, Maureen gave me this some time ago, Fenbid gel, which is ibuprofen gel. Yeah, and you just rub it on the affected area. I don't know how much you can put on. Where's my glasses? They're not in here. Got my I don't know how much you can put on. I've already put some on this morning. Trouble is, you can't put this on and then put a shirt on because it sticks then. Oh, it's horrible, isn't it? It's like a sticky shower curtain. Don't you hate that? When a shower curtain sticks to you? What's it say? Oh, every 4 hours. Okay, every 4 hours. So I've put that on this morning, just before I did the show, actually. And then I'll put it on again before I leave for work. Or I might wait until I get to work. I don't know. But I'll put some on when I get to work as well. So that's what I've been using. This what is it? Ibuprofen gel. Fenbid. Is it actually, does it have a sell-by date? Do you have to use it once it's been opened? It don't say. Directions. Wash hands. I did do that. No, it doesn't say anything about that. Do not use if seal is broken. No. It doesn't say it runs out of time. Wait a minute. Is there a sell-by date on there? Oh, 3/2020. Oh, it's fine then. So I put some of that on and it does help. By the way, do you like today's badge? Badges provided by Mr. Ray Reynolds. I've got ATV this morning. It's an old ITV station. Me and him are into all that. Ray says your new router is great. No glitches or restarts all week. I'm really pleased, Ray. I'm so pleased. Now, those of you that don't know, we've been having problems with the Huawei router provided by the 3 telephone network. They've told me there's an update waiting for it, which will be with me in a few weeks. Well, that's no good. Mike Reese-Ponto is not with us this morning, did a bit of a search. We found out that a lot of people had discovered it was the router causing the problem, as indeed said the bloke on the phone from 3. And they had cured the problem by using their own money, which we shouldn't have to do. We shouldn't have to do this, but nevertheless, they bought a router from Amazon, set that up, put the SIM card in that, cured the problem. So I took the plunge. Cost me 90 quid for a router. So I bought a TP-Link router Tuesday night, swapped it over, and have been using it since. No dropouts. So I'm really pleased about that. You see, to me, this is my thing, you know? Whereas a bloke, for example, my nephew Jimmy, you know, his thing, one of his no, it's probably his only thing. His thing is football. He spends a fortune going all over the country to football matches with his mates. I mean, a fortune, you know. So actually, that 90 quid for that router pales into insignificance when if I was to tell you how much he spends on football in a year. You know, other people fishing. My brother-in-law, who does shows like this, one of his things is cameras. He's got loads of bloody cameras. Video cameras, stills cameras, web cameras. Also, he's got loads of cameras. That's one of his things, you know. So we've all got our thing. My sister's thing at the moment, sewing. She likes doing sewing. She makes little mini duvets for the children and all that. With great love. With great love. Little squares of material all sewn together and a bit of that stuff in the middle of it, you know, to make it warm. Made with love. Made with love. Absolutely made with love. So there we are. So I'm glad the new routers. And to me, spending that 90 quid and sorting the problem, I'm happy with that. Shouldn't have to do it. 3 should bloody well get the act together and either send us a different router or something. But of course, there's millions, I suppose, millions of people with the same problem with this Huawei, waiting for this Huawei update. Adam, have I missed the cat story? Was there going to be a cat story? I can't remember now. The cat story. No, I haven't done any of them yet. I haven't done the stories yet, to be honest. We're going to do the raffle, then I'll do the stories, all right? John's left-handed as well. Yeah, possibly. I'm not left-handed usually. I am to eat. Wonder Woman says, sound like you pulled a nerve, so it probably won't work. Get some paracetamol. I don't know. We'll have to see. Right, raffle ticket time, gang. The big raffle's on Monday. The prize is a fridge magnet, a United Kingdom Talk fridge magnet. I don't have one with me. I'll show you one tomorrow when we do tomorrow morning's show, which will be coming to you from Bracknell in Royal Berkshire. The draw is on Monday morning. It's not nothing of value or anything, but it's a little fridge magnet I've had a load made, and we're giving those out as a prize. To win one, you need a raffle ticket. You're only allowed 1 raffle ticket per show, okay? 1 raffle ticket per show, which those of you with us live can ask for now. Just a moment. Can I just read this? Because this relates to that story. I'm having a nightmare with my router on the caravan site too. Feel another Motor 3 coming on. They've sent this signal booster you plug in, but made it worse. I wonder if I can get out of it if my contract's been going on for a while now. Have you got a Huawei router, Tiffany? Let me ask you if you've got a Huawei router. Because if you have, that's the problem. It's the Huawei router that is the problem. They're waiting for an update for it from Huawei. That's the problem. I've had the problem for about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. So was it all right until about 2.5 weeks ago, Tiffany, can I ask you? All right, and if you come back and let us know. All right, so you can have 1 ticket per show. If you're with us live now, ask me now for a raffle ticket. I'll give you one and I'll give you the number. If you're watching a recording of the show, then you can claim a raffle ticket right up to the next show. All right, simply send me an email there, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, and say, hi Chris, can I have a raffle ticket? I will reply back to you with your number. And remember, you can have 1 per show. If you get one because you're with us live, you can't have one as well if you're, by emailing as well. If I catch you asking for extra tickets, you get taken out of the competition altogether. I like to be as fair as possible to people. So here we go. Number 120 goes to Mr. John Aiken. 120. Oh, hang on. I've written 120 on the bloody ticket now. John Aitken. There you go, John. All right, 120 for you, my darling. It's a bit bright in here. Oh, it's better if... look, it's better if I hold it back, isn't it? 120 for John Aitken. Tony says, some people use both hands, Chris. Well, whatever you want to do, Tony. Whatever turns you on, my friend. I prefer just the one. Thank you. Adam the plumber. Thank you, Adam. Plumber, you got number 121. 121. Okay, 121 for Adam. There we are. Adrian Richardson gets number 122. There are Adrian Richardson. This is for the fridge magnet, boys and girls, which we'll be doing the draw for that on Monday morning. Morning, Diane Jeb. She gets ticket number 123. Diane Jeb. It's just a bit of fun, really. That's all it is. Ticket number 123 for Diane. There you are, Diane. Diane Jeb. Paul and Lou. Good morning, Paul and Lou. Paul and Lou. You're on ticket number 124. They're over there on YouTube. I'll come to you in a minute, Tiffany, and we'll have a little bit chat about that, okay? Because I know your problem. I know what your problem is. Apart from me. Most people's problems. Joanna, hello, Joanna, love. Ticket number 125, Joanna. Ebola. Short for Ebola. Yeah, 125, Joanna. All right, sweetheart. And there's Tiffany, gets ticket number 126. Anyone else? Anyone else? Someone, who was it who wrote yesterday? Tiffany, there we are. I'll be able to bring the prize round. I'll leave your prize on the board, actually. I'll leave it on the notice board in an envelope, Tiffany, if you win. Tiffany, you're number 126, all right, darling? Someone wrote in yesterday an email, a request for a ticket, and they said, what's the prize? And I'm thinking, do you watch the show? She thought she had a... it was the lovely... who was it now? It was a lovely lady in Melbourne, in Australia. She don't know what the prize is. And I'm thinking, God, I talk about them enough. She's probably heard raffle and thought there's like a £10,000 prize to win. No, it's a fridge magnet. That's all it is. All right, anyone else want a ticket? So I've done yours, Tiffany. Yes, there you go, Tiffany. About 3 weeks ago it started. And yes, it's a Huawei. That's your problem, Tiffany. Okay, there is a problem with the Huawei routers. That's what the problem... It's so annoying. I mean, it's bad enough. Okay, if I'm watching the telly and I'm on, I'm on my own here, I'm not that bothered. If the signal suddenly goes down and you get that bloody circle going around on the iPlayer, don't you? Or Netflix stops, wait a couple of minutes, it comes back on. But it is annoying, but I can kind of put up with it. If I wasn't doing these shows, I probably wouldn't have bought another router, right? It's bad enough when you're watching the telly. If I'm doing a show, and I'm sure, I don't know if you was with us last week, we kept getting cut off. So I'd be halfway through a sentence, bang, the router would go down. Oh, and I'd have to start again. And it actually quite dragged me down last week, in my head. It started to make me quite unhappy. The first time I rung this bloke in India, they're always in India, aren't they? Or Pakistan, one of the two. Doesn't matter anyway where they are. He told me, the first one I wrote, he said, there's a problem with Huawei routers. A lot of people are having that problem. Okay, fair enough. Put the phone down. The next day, they tried something else. Right, okay, we'll do this. Put the phone down. The next day, they tried something else. Put the phone down. And then one of our lovely viewers, who's not with us today, Mike Rees-Ponto, started digging around on the internet. And we found this site, problems with 3 Wi-Fi routers. I can't remember the exact site, but nevertheless, there's this whole pages, 2 pages, full of people with Huawei routers on the 3 network who are having these problems. I know the router you've got a black router, haven't you? It's black, and it's not an ugly thing. It's not that big either, is it? It's about 4 inches high and about 5 inches long, isn't it? Maybe 6 inches long. It's not a massive thing with a few lights on the bottom. That's the problem. That's the problem router, and they're all having these problems. Well, I read all these little things, and what some people have done. We shouldn't have to do this. So 3 have told us all that they're waiting for an update to the router from Huawei, which that will happen automatically. I don't think you'll have to do anything. It kind of happens. They send some sort of update to your router by telephone signal. Your router should be updated, and then it'll start working. The problem is they're telling everyone that the update should be with you in a few weeks. So what do we do for a few weeks? You know, it's bloody ridiculous. Now, I do know, Tiffany, some people who have complained have been offered a Huawei Cube. Now, this is also a router. It's a cube. My neighbours, a delightful couple. I don't know if you know them, Ken and Elaine, who are a few caravans. Oh, they're so nice. Such a nice couple. Ken and Elaine, they've got one of these cubes. And it's basically one of those Alexa cubes. Right? It's like an Alexa cube, but it's Huawei. And you can talk to it and it plays music. Well, it's got a router in it as well. That doesn't seem to be part of the problem. That just works. Now, I know a couple of people that have gone back to 3 and complained bitterly on the phone who have then been sent one of these cubes and it sorted the problem. Okay? But it hasn't happened for everyone, unfortunately. They should damn well do this. But there you go. That's how they are. So because this is my thing and this is what I do, I also noticed some people had gone out and bought their own router, a different make. It cost me 90 quid for a TP-Link 4G router. Okay, now if you're happy to spend that, then all well and good. I installed that on Tuesday. It's been perfect ever since. And when I say perfect, I mean perfect. It hasn't dropped out once, touch wood. Not once since installing that. So that sorted the problem. So it's definitely that router that's the problem. Okay, whether or not you want to wait, or you can go back to 3 and complain bitterly, see if they can get something done else for you like that. Maybe you can say, well, I want another router, or cancel my contract. You could try that one. And then if you was to buy a TP-Link router, I've got to tell you, really easy to set up. I literally took the SIM card out of one. And the TP-Link router takes a smaller SIM card, but that's okay because you can break around. You know, you can break those little cards around the side. They're sort of several sizes in one, aren't they? So I broke the bits around the side, pushed it in, plugged it in, and it just worked. Literally 3 minutes set up. And then you have to put the password in, of course. You have a different password and things like that. But very easy to set up. But then you'll have to spend £90 if you want it working now, unless you can get something else out of 3. But don't accept the same router as you've got because it'll be exactly the same. All right? So that's what your problem is. I don't know what they've sent you, my darling. Some sort of amplifier, did you say, or something like that? That's not going to sort the problem out. That won't sort it out at all. All right? There you go. Hello to Dale on Vaughan Live. Good morning, Dale. Michael Pullman's in the house. Morning, Michael. Your ticket number 127. All the viewers who are with us this morning will tell you the problems we had last week. It was a blooming nightmare. It was. Right, Michael Pullman. What's the time? Oh, my Lord, it's 11:15. How long have we been here for, then? Good God. 127 for you, Michael. All right, mate. Tiffany says it's driving her mad with Netflix. Yeah, as it would too. So, Chris, I can get you. My Alexa can help me with this. What, Chris? Can I get your My Alexa? Can you help me with? What do you want help with, Adrian? Tell me. Wonder Woman says I know how you feel when gadgets don't work. Oh, it's a nightmare. Yeah, Dale's with us on Vaughan Live. Morning, Dark. Small black box. Yeah, that's it. Give them a ring, Tiffany. Tell them that you know other people have been sent the Huawei Cube and it's worked, so you want to be sent another router or cancel the contract. I bet you'll win. Let me know, will you? If you get one of those Huawei Cubes, I shall be very jealous. I won't bother now because I'm happy now it's working, you see. It's cost me money, which it shouldn't have done, but I'm happy it's working. You know, I don't mind spending a bit of money, even if I don't have to, just to get something sorted. Huawei. Is it Huawei? Is that how you pronounce it? Huawei. Why don't you spell it differently then so we can all pronounce it? All right. So Adrian says, you said your router is new one is perfect, but there's a problem. We can see you way too clear now. How can we fix that? Any suggestions? A brown paper bag with cake inside. I'll happily take the cake, Adrian, as well you know. Morning to my sister. There's my sister, Sharon Butler, whose birthday it is this morning. She's a couple of years behind me. Funnily enough, she turned up last night. She and my brother-in-law and my lovely niece, Tracy, all turned up at the karaoke last night. My brother-in-law sung 3 songs, one of which was one of my songs, Sandy. Sandy, can't you see I'm a misery? They're all miseries, dear. The whole world is misery. Just turn on the telly and you see how miserable people are. So it was nice of them to turn up last night. It was a little bit quieter last night than I say a little bit, a lot quieter than it was last night over in Cleethorpes. The weird thing about being in Cleethorpes, where are the holiday makers? You know, I just assumed it would be busy in August with all these holiday makers walking around. No, not at all, just the usual customers. No one new or extra. Isn't that funny? Maybe that's just how it is now. People tend to go abroad now, don't they? And not bother. Unfortunately, with a lot of the English places. I remember as a child, we used to go to Bracklesham Bay. It was packed on the beach. Packed. Not anymore. Sad, really, as things go. My sister wants a raffle ticket. Of course, sis. You're number 128, my dear. 128. There you go. 128. Oh, Tommy wants one as well. There we are. Hang on. There's no favouritism for family, you know. They all have to buy raffle tickets. Tommy, number 129, Tommy. Tommy Flynn. Don't forget, the draw is on Monday morning from our Bracknell Television Studio Complex, all right? There you go, Tommy. All right? How do I get your show going through my Alexa? Is there a certain platform I would use? Well, that would be sound only, wouldn't it? So I don't know. I mean, can you listen to YouTube things on your Alexa? If so, I don't know if you can or not. If so, I would try bringing up YouTube and then saying, play United Kingdom talk and see what happens. I don't know how that would work, okay? I don't know how that would work. All right? I will have to charge you, sis, so you can have a ticket the same as everyone. No favouritism, dear. No favouritism. Tony says, I hear we're going to be getting a bashing of bad weather again. Yes, we are. More rain on the way, dear. John was Danny in the school musical Grease. Haven't you got to be butch for that, John? How did you manage that? Sandy was my big number. Yeah, I love that song. Tracy wants one as well. Okay. Oh, no, I can't give you one for Tracy, sis. She has to ask herself, I'm afraid. She's got to open her own little window and ask herself. It's the same for everyone on here, dear. You can't ask for tickets for other people. There we are. Open a window and ask. Right. We'll do the birthdays in a minute. I've been here far too long today. Couple of stories for you then. What about this? Now, watch out for those seagulls. Oh, my Lord. Do you remember the Michael Lawrence wants a ticket? Thank you, Michael. Let's give you 130, Michael. Michael Lawrence. Michael Lawrence. You should have about 3 this week, have you now, Michael? Don't forget you have 1 ticket every day. You can have a ticket now every day. There she is. There's my niece, Tracy Clifford. Ticket now, bitch. How rude. I don't consider bitch a swear word. I know some of you do. I don't think bitch is a swear word as well. Especially if you met my niece, you'd know what a bitch she is. I've seen the way she talks to other people, dear. There you go. Ticket number 131. Ticket number 131 to your collection point A, please. Those of you that go to Argos will know what I mean. Right. Is there skullduggery going on with those tickets, Chris? No, there certainly isn't. And if I catch anyone doing skullduggery, they'll have all their tickets removed and banned from future competitions. This week it's a fridge magnet. Who knows what the competition could be next week? So there we go. Tickets are closed now, gang. No more tickets on the live show. If you didn't get one and you want one and you haven't got one already, then email the show. If you're watching a recording of the show, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk is my email address. All right, my darling, just send me a little message. Please, can I have a ticket? I can't start, having conversations on emails. Otherwise, we never get to the end of the day. Just take up. So I will reply to you with simply number, whatever it is. So, if John sends an email in, he won't because he's got one. Hi, Chris, can I have a ticket? I'll just send you a little message back, number 2, whatever that is. All right. Now, do you remember the story a couple of weeks ago about the dog? The little dog that was taken away by a seagull. Well, they're after the cats and all now. Hope you're paying attention here. Adam, you want to hear this? He's got a cat. Lovely cats. We love cats. We love cats. Don't take them to China, for Christ's sake, whatever you do on an holiday. A couple claimed their pet cat had its tongue ripped in half by a vicious seagull that was attempting to snatch it. Cats are not safe, dear. Have you seen them those seagulls? Oh, they're big bastards, they are. I mean, they scare me. I never forget my niece-in-law, my nephew's wife, was sitting there having some chips in Whitley Bay. Lovely, oh, beautiful place in Yorkshire, Whitley Bay once. And we were under this like a bandstand type thing. We were just sitting on the wall. This bloody seagull come and landed on her shoulder, didn't it? She went mad. She went mad. I'm standing there laughing, me and my nephew. What a horrific experience. Mind you, if a seagull tried to carry me off, I don't think it would succeed. I'm too fat. The seagull would probably try and pick me up by the hair and rip my hair up, if only there was some, you know. Cleo, a Siberian mixed breed, was left with horror injuries after the terrifying attack that happened while the pet chased birds in the garden. Dreadful. Her owners, Callum and Kim, it's only up the road in Lincoln, feared they'd lose their beloved pet when her tongue was so mangled it needed to be pieced back together. Poor pussy. I don't like damaged pussies, do you? It's a terrible thing to have your pussy damaged in such a terrible, terrible way. It really is. After coming home to find Cleo badly injured, they rushed her to Vet's Now Pet Emergency Clinic. I saw her sitting on the windowsill and I could tell straight away there was something wrong, she said. When I took a closer look, there was blood around her mouth and she was drooling constantly. We think that she'd gone for a bird and pierced her tongue. It was at the vets that the full extent of her injuries became apparent. The boy was told the beloved pet had virtually ripped her tongue in half. Dreadful. An emergency vet carried out a painstaking operation which went on until the early hours, and the senior vet said it was clear Cleo's tongue had started to go necrotic, which basically means the cells had started to die, so surgery was essential. It's a shame when it's animals, they don't realise what's going on, do they? You know, it's horrible. I remember my cat when she had her thyroid removed and she was just odd after. She just had no idea what was going on. She would hide. She would hide from me. After carrying out a thorough examination and discussing the options with Cleo's owners, we made the decision to go ahead with the operation that night. It was a very delicate procedure. We had to cut away the damaged section of the tongue and then reconstruct it. Wow. But fingers crossed it's going to be all right. And there's a picture of the cat asleep after its after its anaesthetic. Poor little thing. So those seagulls are vicious things. Evil seagulls. They're absolutely evil seagulls. Oh, Shania, you're a bit late for the live tickets, aren't you? Never mind, let's get one out, dear. As you're there, my love. Hey, Shania, darling. Maybe you're watching us back a little bit, are you? Ticket number 132, Shania, okay? John is terrified of seagulls. They are evil. They're so huge. They're fat things. When I was working in Brighton at this awful place called the Bulldog, hang on a minute. Was that John? Who was that? Who's this ticket about? Shania. Just a minute. There you are. Draws on Monday morning, okay? Don't forget the ticket draw is on Monday morning. Oh, yeah, ticket number 1. Oh, I haven't got hospital Monday, have I? When is my hospital? Oh, no, it's Tuesday. 132. Ticket number 132 for you. Okay, there you go, Shania. Dreadful things. Rachel says we were eating chips in Yarmouth and got surrounded by seagulls. Oh, yes. Don't ever feed them. Never, ever chuck anything down for seagulls. Oh, hang on a minute. If I remember rightly, yes. My great-nephew Harry and great-niece Evie, when we were in Whitley Bay, they went into this fish and chip shop. We got fish and chips and stuff and sausages and baked beans for me. And while we were in there, my nephew's wife asked if they had any bits that they could, feed the fish. because I think they were trying to do fishing. They had these lines. It was like a bit of string on a stick, and they just put them in the water and see if the fish would grab her. Gary, my nephew, wanted to do some fishing. He likes fishing. Doesn't go regular. Is it raining out there? I think it's just the wind. Just the wind. The wind. So they kindly enough, the person who owns a fish shop give us a little bag of bits and pieces that we could feed them and tie on the thing. Anyway, so great nephew's Harry's got this thing, or it was Evie, I can't remember who it was now, and then they're sitting on this bench. Anyway, they get up to come over to Gary. Well, this seagull swooped down and nicked the entire bag of stuff. They watch you. They're watching, dear. Don't take your eyes off your donuts for too long, or your saveloys, or that saveloy will have a beak rammed into it, dear. Oh, the thought of that. The thought of that. All right. We'll do one food story then, and then we'll do the birthdays for today, okay? In the Daily Mirror this morning, Christmas has come early. Well, not quite. In the Daily Mirror, it says it gets, and I see what they think of these. Do you like Brussels sprouts? Brussels sprouts? People always have this conversation about Brussels sprouts. I probably have them only at Christmas. I don't particularly go out of my way to buy them. They're okay. I don't mind them too much. I certainly didn't like them as a child. Did you like Brussels sprouts as a child? It says it gets earlier every year, and 2019 is proving no exception when it comes to all things Christmas. Tesco's are the newest retailer to get in on the festive act, and have revealed that they'll be launching a Brussels sprout with a difference in the coming months. Being the sort of food substance which people either love or hate, people are bound to have an opinion about these too. As part of its Christmas menu, Tesco have unveiled battered Brussels sprout bites. Now, I'm kind of wondering if these are good for you or not. On the one hand, they're Brussels sprouts, but on the other hand, they're battered. There go the RAF boys. Can you hear them flying over? The sprouts are covered in a light, crispy friend batter, vegan friendly, come with a cranberry dip, and are a bargain at £3 for 420 grams, 240 grams. I think I'd like to try these, to be honest. If you're drooling in anticipation, sorry, you're going to have to wait a bit longer. The Brussels sprout bites will hit shelves and online on December the 9th. And will be joined by some delicious sounding mozzarella and pesto arancini balls. Arancini balls. I don't know what the hell that is, which also cost £3. That's not all. This is all in Tesco's. As well as these delicacies, there will be a range of appetizers, such as barbacoa beef tacos, prawn roses, and 3 different types of pigs in blankets. Oh, don't. Oh, pigs. I'm driving back from the swimming pool yesterday, and there's a large lorry pulled up next to me. Great big long thing at once, with little windows. Little pigs looking out through the windows. Oh, it horrifies me seeing that, because you know where they're going. My sister said, "Oh, you don't necessarily know they're going to the slaughterhouse." Well, where else would they be going? Not bloody taking them on holiday, are they, dear? Oh, I hate that. Oh, it is raining. Oh, it's pouring down with rain. Again, surprise, surprise. It's been like that all week here. Oh, no, this great big lorry went past with little pigs, and they were looking out the window. And I thought, I don't know. Oh, Maureen's just texting. She can't get into YouTube. She's contacted Virgin and has to wait 24 hours. Oh, well, it's definitely working, Maureen. She's got to wait 24 hours? What, for Virgin to sort it out? All they've got to do is push buttons at their end. Oh, dear me. Poor Maureen can't watch this morning. Tesco's haven't forgotten about the cheese course either. So cheese isn't vegan unless you get vegan cheese. I've got to tell you that, all right? So rejoice cheese lovers, there'll also be a create your own drunken cheese, which is a white Stilton to be dipped into alcohol before serving. That sounds all right. Champagne, of course. Champagne. Don't be dipping it in beer. Do you get proper champagne? Very nice, thank you. Very nice indeed. I've got a white Stilton in the fridge, actually, with apricot. I like that. Do you like that? Aldi do it. I think it's about £1.39. It's lovely. Alrighty, Tony, on Brighton, goals are fierce. I was sitting outside a cafe in St James's Street one day and a gull did his naughty in my cup and saucer. Oh my God. I didn't know you were into that, Tony. Eating poo. How awful. Oh, there he is. The Predator is there. Dukey Chrissy. Hello, Dukey, baby. Morning, Chris. Is one of my favourite people, Dukey Chrissy. All right, let's do today's, also known as the Predator, because he fancies my nephew. I fancy him, and he fancies my nephew. Work that one out. All right, let's do today's birthdays. At the top of the list has to be my dear sister, Sharon Butler. Happy birthday, sis. She is 54 years old today. Good morning, Sharon. Happy birthday to you, my darling. Tony Power as well. I didn't know that. I'm terrible, says Yuki. Yeah, but it's all true, dear. It's all true, dear. It's all true. Happy birthday today to Tony Power, who's also with us this morning. Good morning, Tony. I note that you are hiding your birthday for our millions of viewers. Doesn't matter. Happy birthday, Tony. He's raising money for a charity called Cancer in Drag. If you see his name on the screen there, click on it and you'll find out all about that. Cancer in Drag, okay? Trying to raise £300 there. Happy birthday today to Stirland Martin, who I met some years ago now at an event I was DJing at in France. I was DJing at a Club Med resort for the skiing holiday there. Good morning, Stirland. Happy birthday to you, sir. Anne-Marie Rimmereed is 52 years old today. Happy birthday, Anne. Zosimo Patala Cora today is 43 years old. Good morning. Happy birthday to you. Thomas Fabian Totten. Good morning, Thomas. 28 years old today. Morning, Thomas. He plays, you might have seen him. He was on the telly a while ago I think it was on X Factor. But he wasn't like, I think he was, what was he on? He was playing the guitar on the telly. Oh, it's a couple of years ago now. I'm sure he's still doing it somewhere. But yeah, lovely chap. He used to come into the karaoke at Sydenham. So good morning, Thomas. Happy birthday to you, sir. Hope all the other fellas are all right. Do send them my best regards. Always in my thoughts. Everyone I've ever met in karaoke, they often pop into my head at random times. Happy birthday, 42 years old, to Andrey Avramenko. Good morning, 42 today. Vicki Woodin today is 33 years old. Mary Medic. That's a good name. 54 years old today. Happy birthday. And finally, Leon Woodvine. Leon Woodvine today is a young 41 years old. Happy birthday, boys and girls. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. There you go. Oh, cut off the last note there, didn't I? Right, it's Friday night tonight. If I can get down there, I've got a bit of a bad back at the moment. As you heard during the show, I bent over yesterday and getting something out of the car, and my back has pulled a muscle there again. That's about the 5th time that's happened now. It's very, very annoying. But as long as I can get in the car and get down there, I shall be there. Tonight, karaoke at Central Station in the north of London. Starts at 8:30. Goes right the way through until midnight. Come and sing us a song. Meet our wonderful people that we have there. The crowd on a Friday, it's quite a young crowd in there on a Friday. And they can be a bit boisterous. That doesn't mean nasty. Just a bit loud and dancey sometimes there on a Friday. So come along to that tonight. Every Friday, karaoke at Central Station Bar, Wharfdale Road, King's Cross from 8:30. All right, boys and girls, thanks ever so much for joining us on the show today. Been a pleasure talking to you as always. And hopefully I'll see you at some time tomorrow morning. Enjoy your Friday. Bye-bye now.